Hey everyone, I hope you are having a fantastic day. I have got some clips that I have had in a folder for a long time that I have wanted to use for this stream, but I've hesitated. But you know what? Let's do it. It's a touchy subject that a lot of people don't like to talk about, but we're going to talk about it anyways because it's important. And that is the subject of mental health. We watch so many of these streams, and a lot of them are people just being, how many seconds in are we? Asshats. So, we laugh and all that, but some of them mixed in are related to mental illness, and we don't really differentiate that. And it's kind of something that struck me when I saw these clips that I wanted to talk about, because I know personally firsthand mental illness is a major issue, and it's something that a lot of people don't take as seriously as they should. A lot of people grew up where it was not really understood, and it was more just ignored, or you try to hide it rather than actually treat it. And we're learning more about how the human brain works, and we're able to understand what our mental health actually is and how to treat it and how to fix all these things that in the past just kind of manifested. So there's so many resources out there, but so many people are still so resistant to it because they haven't accepted the fact that mental health is equal to physical health. You should go to the doctor for a mental illness the same as you would if you have a heart condition, high cholesterol, diabetes. Any of those things that need to be treated should be treated. And yes, I know some people wouldn't go to the doctor for those things, but you should, all the same, for both of them. So I did some research on this, and I was actually surprised by some of the statistics. I know this is an issue, but just learning how prevalent of an issue it is was kind of like, wow. Nearly 1 in 5 US adults experience some form of mental illness. That's 19% of Americans. And that's just what they're able to report. Who knows what's not reported? So 1 in 24 people experience a serious mental illness. And a serious mental illness is described as a mental, behavioral, or emotional disorder, excluding developmental or substance use disorders, resulting in serious functional impairment, which substantially interferes with or limits one or more major life activities. Examples would be major depressive disorder, schizophrenia, or bipolar disorder. So 1 in 24 people. That's a lot. That's a lot. And 3/4 of all mental illnesses begin by the age of 24. Now, all of these statistics are coming from psychiatry.org, and I'm putting the links in the description. Another thing to think about is the fact that mental illness takes so many different forms. There's very mild things like, you may have a little anxiety, you may have a little depression because life sucks and you just need a little help to get through this bump. Or there may be like severe problems like phobias, like you can't leave your house, or you're terrified of going on YouTube because people are going to make fun of you and you got to use a filter to make sure you look good. And, oh my God, I forgot lip gloss. What am I going to do? That's anxiety. My anxiety's kicking in now. Now I'm sitting here debating whether I want to redo this stream or not because I didn't put lip gloss on and I look a little pasty Casperish. And I shouldn't be looking at myself. I should be looking at my notes up here. But I'm looking at myself getting a little freaked out and worked up. Do you know what that is? That's a mental illness. That's my anxiety kicking in. I've had anxiety my entire life. My anxiety is like off the charts. I have been medicated for my anxiety for 20-something years, which only brings it down to like, it's a big deal. Without that, I would be a hot mess. Oh, I'm a hot mess now. Damn. I don't even know what I'd be. So it's important to like recognize it and all that good stuff. And I've rambled on enough. So let's watch a clip.
Your Honor, this case was, we had a competency evaluation was ordered. That competency evaluation came back recommending that Ms. Dillon was competent for trial. As a result, we'd like to set this for a plea date. We have not conferenced one with the state, but I think given the nature of the charges, it should be easy to accomplish a plea in the next few weeks. Obviously, if we don't have an offer yet, if we don't have an offer by the time the plea comes around.
Real quick.
Yeah. Am I incorrect about the assessment result?
What are you talking about? What are you saying?
Yeah, that's, I mean, unless I'm looking at unless there's a different, I'm looking at one that was done on 12/9 of 22.
It's a thing here, like a round thing. You're talking on there.
Mr. Carey, do you have that evaluation as well?
I'm having severe problems with my computer, Judge. I think I'm gonna have to restart my whole computer and come back in.
Okay.
Fuck you.
Not loading anything. It keeps freezing. I'll be right back.
22 CR 1076.
James Brown. Yes. Yes. The singer, James Brown. Yes. What's going on? You missed in here? Or?
One second, Ms. Dillon. We're just getting some people up to speed here.
Okay.
12/9. Okay.
No.
You need a copy, Mr. Allison Natali?
Do.
Okay. Run one real quick for you.
No. Who gives a fuck? Fuck her. And fuck you.
We're waiting on Mr. Carey back into the readmit him, Lacey.
My baby Gabrielle is playing. Damian Marley Rockstone 3. Yes, she is. I love you.
You have to readmit Mr. Carey into the Zoom. He had to restart.
It's not there yet.
Not there yet?
Oh, I was thinking, I wonder if I got it
So,
That's the one I filed on 12/19.
on 12/19. Okay, I think I had accessed an earlier one.
That's possible.
Understood.
The eval that I have, well, we don't have a prosecutor right now.
you
Hang
look
on.
like a big person. You look like a big person who is pregnant and degenerate. Me don't have anything except, yes, me do. Me have exposure and me have condition. No, me don't have this. What this is?
So waiting on a
There's no
prosecutor. Hang on.
thing. No, it is not. What's that?
Yeah.
Black ass? What's black ass?
I apologize, everyone, for the delay. The prosecutor was having computer issues and indicated he was going to have to restart.
What's black ass?
Mark, I'm gonna mute you guys for just a minute, okay?
Me don't know
Okay.
what this is.
Mr. Carey, are you back with us? There you are.
Yes, Judge, sorry. I already started it. It actually loaded this time, so.
Oh, good deal. Okay, so we have now gotten the evaluation to Mr. Allison Natali as well. Do you have a copy of that as well, Mr. Carey? It was filed on the 19th of December.
Pulling everything up now.
And I apologize, Your Honor, I had accessed an earlier evaluation,
Totally understand.
which this result makes more sense to me.
So what we're going to do, Mr. Carey, spoiler alert, but it indicated that at this time, Ms. Dillon is unable to proceed due to not being competent in the legal proceedings. Does the state have any objection to those findings?
Still trying to find the order itself. Is it filed in full court?
Yeah, in 22 CR 1076, it would have been the last thing that was filed.
Okay.
Mr. Allison Natali, any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
What we're going to do, the court will find Ms. Dillon at this time incompetent to proceed. Court will order her to be taken to a facility in order to restore competency. Just to keep this kind of on the calendar, let's set this over to, let's set it over to March 28th at not 21st. Sorry, I think you guys are at the 21st. March 21st at 9 a.m.
I got my lip gloss. I'm good now. She's absolutely adorable, right? Like, absolutely adorable. So funny and so cute. But obviously, there's issues, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I'm going to spew some more numbers at you because I love numbers. I love numbers. 8.8 adults have schizophrenia or bipolar. That's 3.4% of the population. And 4.2 million of those, that's almost half, are untreated. WTF. Approximately 50% of all people that have some form of mental illness don't even realize it. Approximately 10% of homicides involve an offender with a serious mental illness. 29% of family homicides are committed by someone with a mental illness, and approximately 50% of mass killings. So, how does that kind of relate to what we do on a daily basis? Those people end up in jail. By the way, those statistics are from Treatment Advocacy Center, link in the description. They also talk about Florida. Ooh. Orange County Jail. The average stay for all inmates is 26 days. Normal inmate, just across the board average. And this is the county jail, not, the prison. They haven't been sentenced yet. For a mentally ill inmate, it's 51 days. So 26 days normal, 51 days, almost twice as much. At Rikers Island, New York, massive prison, the average stay for all inmates is 42 days. For mentally ill inmates, it's 215 days. I can't quite do my math in my head, but I think that's like over 5 times as much. 4 times 5, 20. Yeah, over 5 times as much. And the main reason is mentally ill inmates have a hard time understanding what's going on, following the prison rules, and they're twice as likely to be charged with violations while in prison. So they're getting these infractions, and there's all these issues. It also can cause their trials and stuff to be delayed because they're not understanding what's going on. And usually they're not getting the treatment that they need. Most states just don't have the resources. A lot of these prisoners are spending this extra time in jail because they're waiting for their competency exams. That's what's holding them in prison. They wait longer for their competency exams, in some cases, than they would have spent in prison as a result of their sentences. Also, the study from the Treatment Advocacy Center showed in 44 states, jails or prisons held more people with severe mental illness than the largest remaining psychiatric hospital in the state. I think that shows that we're not treating it correctly. And when I saw this clip, I realized that there really aren't the resources in place associated with the prison system to help people. I think we saw it when we saw one of the CTAC videos. Also, Mrs. Liu. I mean, there's some services, but there isn't an abundance of services available to these people where they're getting exactly what they need. And many times they're just released when they have minor problems. It's not until they have major issues that action is taken. And in this case, we see Judge Stevens trying to figure out what to do because he doesn't want to just release her because he understands that there's an issue, but he doesn't have a lot of options. And that one kind of got me. So
Looks like we have, correct me if I'm wrong, John, 4 cases. 21-38424, Whitney Michelle Carlisle charged with the 3rd-degree felony of evading arrest or detention. 21-38425, Whitney Carlisle, who is charged with the state jail felony of unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. 22-39108, Whitney Carlisle, charged with the 3rd-degree felony of assault on a public servant. And finally, 22-39109, Whitney Carlisle, charged with another 3rd-degree felony of assault on a public servant. What we have done also at the suggestion of the defense, the court ordered an evaluation of the defendant on the issue of competency. Oh, you just were rude and interrupted me. Okay, that's okay. Just, you are Whitney Carlisle, aren't you?
Yes,
Okay.
but I was thinking of.
All right, don't interrupt. Okay, I ordered an evaluation we have received in a report dated January 5th of 2023, and evaluation report completed, which consists of a cover letter from Daniel Doyle, who is the chief operating officer for the University of Texas Health and Science Center at Houston, and then a competency evaluation report consisting of 8 pages. The examining physician here, of course, God bless physicians, but I don't even know what language this is in, but they write their name. I can't tell what this is. It looks like something that I've seen in Egypt on hieroglyphics, but it is signed by the examining physician, and I can't figure out who it is. Is it? It says Matara Wright, but I don't think it is the examiner, but that doesn't look like an M, or that looks like maybe an L for the, do you see that?
Yeah.
Can you see with the name?
Yeah,
Examining physician? I can't, there's a signature purportedly of something, but it looks like just 3 letters. And it's undecipherable, but it's, I've sometimes physicians write in a way that it's hard to read there because they're writing quickly.
I guess it says, saying Dr. Grapon on the
That
very
doesn't look like
back.
Edgar Pond's evaluation. That's not the way he writes his name.
Which page you're on?
That's the proper one.
No, I'm looking at the UT Health Sciences
Oh, I'm sorry.
report, not Dr. Grapon's report. That Dr. Grapon's report was done in a year before. I'm talking about that UT Health, University of Texas Health Science Center dated January 5th, which deemed the defendant to be incompetent to stand trial. I can't read. It says examiner is Matara Wright. So, but that certainly, there's some initials there of examining physician, and I presume that that's who it is. I just can't read it. But that's okay. It's signed by the examining physician of this defendant. Is there any, have you had a chance to review this, John West, who is,
Yes, Your Honor.
and are there any objections for its admittance?
No, Your Honor.
It will be admitted as court's exhibit number 1 in today's hearing without objection. In summary, the findings here are that that okay, I see. The position certificate is Lokesh Shahani. Lokesh Shahani, doctor, position at the Behavioral Sciences Center, who this report again has a cover page, then it's followed with 8 pages of a competency evaluation report signed by Dr. Matara Wright. And then there's a forensic psychiatry report signed by Dr. Lokesh Kahani, and a physician certificate of a medical examination for mental illness signed by. You see that report? That's physician certificate for medical examination. My name and address is Don Connor Building. There's no name for the doctor, and then the signature line, I can't read that at all. And then there's another third physician certificate of medical examination for mental illness by Dr. Lokesh Shahani. So it consists of 9 and 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 pages. 3 physician certificates, 1 cover page, and a trial competency evaluation report, all stating that the defendant was evaluated by 3 different physicians and is deemed to be incompetent to stand trial at this time. And is unlikely to be restored within the time allotted by statute. Treatment options include continued psychiatric treatment, monitoring, mental health services, and further education about procedure and legal options associated with criminal legal proceedings as recommended here. As the defendant is deemed to be diagnosed with schizophrenia. And has achieved maximum benefit from inpatient hospitalizations. Her symptoms have not responded to current and multiple previous treatment trials. And she is determined to be incompetent to stand trial and unlikely to be restored within the time, restored to competency within the time allotted by the statute. Is the opinion of the treatment team that Ms. Carlisle has achieved maximum benefit here and requires extended commitment for outpatient mental health treatment. And the extended outpatient commitment is expected to continue for more than 90 days, according to the evaluations. And that the defendant meets the following criteria for outpatient commitment: that the nature of the mental illness is severe and persistent, a result of the mental illness, the patient will, if not treated, experience deterioration to function independently. And outpatient mental health services are needed to prevent a relapse that would likely result in serious harm to her. And 3, the patient has an inability to participate in outpatient treatment services effectively. John, have you read this evaluation? Mr. West, have you reviewed this?
Sorry, just trying to unmute myself. Yes, Your Honor. Yes, I have a copy. I've read it.
I don't understand what it's saying. I don't know. There's no guidance here for the court on how I'm supposed to deal with her in an outpatient method. According to this report,
Not sure exactly that enter, Your Honor.
what does the state say? Okay, there's no contest on the competency issue. She's deemed incompetent, right?
Right.
Any objection from the state either? No? Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna reset this for tomorrow. I want y'all to look into it, please, and be prepared at this hearing to tell me what your positions are on this, because I can't understand it, but one's representing the state and one's representing her. And it seems like nobody really looked at this. And I'm gonna reset it until tomorrow morning, and y'all look at it and tell me what your positions are based upon those reports.
Will do.
Okay, that is all.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We're gonna see you again tomorrow, and we'll have a decision tomorrow. John Stevens. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Good to see you. Stand out in the middle of traffic.
I know, that's the problem, is where do we put her? Because they're saying here she doesn't need any patient treatment but she can't go to trial, so.
We can check with probation, does the mental health caseload. Maybe see if there's we can get MHMR or somebody that can come talk to her.
Yeah.
And interview her out of the jail and maybe find a place for her.
Do you have any
So
relatives
suggest-
here? Do you have any relatives?
No, I was walking.
Yeah, you were. It says you're a transient.
No,
Where's your family?
We're just walking. Well, okay, no,
Yeah, where's your family?
I'm from Austin.
Austin. Okay, is family still there? Do you still?
A little bit, but yeah, not a whole lot of family, but I got some family walking. But I mean, on
Who's
the
your
paper yesterday,
Who's your closest relative?
I have a great grandmother. But on the paper
Wow.
yesterday, it said that I'm capable of taking care of myself. I was doing just fine. I worked for FedEx for 10 years. I just stopped working and I stopped working and I started walking. That's all. I got arrested for assault because someone put their hands on me.
How about, well, it sounds like
But I sold.
an assault is a different from walking.
Right. Okay, I was really looking for somewhere to sleep at night because it began to get cold.
Nonetheless, if it's an assault, it's different from
Right,
just
but that's not what
walking.
you said.
See, you just interrupted me. That's good. Hold on.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I apologize.
Well, just generally, you're an interrupter. We had that yesterday or whenever it was. Was it yesterday? It was the same
I mean,
thing.
my
Wait,
goodness.
you know, this lady has to take down everything. Yeah, and see, you interrupt, wait, shh. Here's the, don't say anything until I point to you, okay?
Okay.
Because when we both speak, the lady can't take everything down. And she is the court reporter who has to take down everything. So there is a record of it. And when people are speaking on top of each other, she can type 350 words a minute, which is, yeah, it's great. But she can't type when two people's conversation over each other, just like you're doing.
Good.
Just like you're doing wrong. Shh, stop,
Thank you. Good point.
stop. And I'll point to you to talk next, okay? Can you follow that rule? Okay. All right. You were driving a motor vehicle at a high rate of speed, right?
Yes.
Where did you get that vehicle? If- Is it your vehicle?
No, but it had a whole bunch of keys in it for
Oh,
people.
you sold the vehicle?
People that was looking for, like, if say if you were being.
Did you steal the vehicle?
Did
No, it's yet, you can explain, hold on. When I speak, you stop. Here's the rule. When I speak, you stop. You know, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put you in timeout until you can follow the rules, okay? You wanna go back in timeout? Don't do that. Did you steal? I ask you, it's yes or no. Did you steal the car or not? Did you steal it? Yes or no?
Technically, no.
Technically, no.
The keys were in it.
Was it your vehicle?
The keys were in it.
Now, here's a yes or no question. Was it your vehicle? I'm sorry, you didn't say yes or no. Don't say anything but yes or no.
We're having.
Was it your vehicle? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. Did you have permission to use the vehicle?
No.
Hmm. See. We just, what happened here? We just can't let it just amble about. What is your attorney's name? Good. Are you taking any medicine now?
I'm taking prenatal vitamins. Prenatal vitamins?
Prenatal vitamins, that's all? Nothing for your schizophrenia?
That is for me.
Is that what you're taking for schizophrenia, prenatal vitamins?
Yes.
That's an unusual method.
Actually, it should work.
Who said that?
It should work.
Who said that?
No, I'm saying it should.
Oh, that's your determinant. That's what you're thinking. The prenatal vitamins should work on schizophrenia? Huh? Where do you get the vitamins from?
I have them in Jefferson County.
Oh,
It's a prescription.
okay. At the jail, they're giving them to you? How many do you take a day?
4.
You know, they were giving you haloperidol, depicted, and benzotropine.
Depicted is what I'm taking.
That's what it is.
Mhm.
That's all though.
Yes, that's all.
So no haloperidol,
No haloperidol.
I'm not sure how
benzotropine, none of that either.
I'm not sure how accurate her testimony of that is gonna be, Your Honor.
They have a.
I'm just, well, you don't know the answer though. do
Oh, I
you?
don't either, yeah.
Well, maybe you need to get us some information about
Find that
that.
out.
Yeah.
That's my evaluation.
Okay. What you need, according to the doctors, is extended commitment for outpatient mental health treatment.
Like MHMR?
Could be.
Okay.
The only problem is where are you gonna live?
Well, does MHMR, does it provide any kind of like disability, social security, any kind of
I
funding?
don't, that's,
Is there any way to provide any funding from the government to assist?
the,
Once you become a mental health patient, do they automatically determine that you don't get any kind of funding, any kind of?
I don't think
grants?
that's not them who makes that decision, no.
Thank you.
But the point is, you don't have anybody you could live with here in the area, right?
No, not in the area, but
Yes,
I mean,
ma'am.
I can move back closer to Austin. I used to live in Dallas for a very long time.
I know, but who's in all, but you say it's a great grandparent?
Yes, but I've been independent.
Well, how old
for
is that
most of-
person?
I think she's in her 70s. She
Really?
was a 60s baby.
You got a great grandparent who's just in the 70s?
Yeah,
Really?
we live well.
And you're 36 years of age? The math just doesn't work out.
I'm 36 years old.
I know, yeah, that's
1986.
true, but a great grandparent at 70 years of age, if you're 36, just doesn't, the math doesn't work out.
She was born
They've got to
in
be older than
1961.
that for a great grandparent. Are they
Or
retired?
that's
Or
what
is
it
that,
assumes.
is
Yeah,
that-
Yeah, she's retired. She's
okay,
retired.
and is she close to you?
Mhm.
Okay. Do you know her address?
She does, I think she lives back in Austin by now.
But you don't know
I
for
I
sure.
don't know the address to
Okay.
the-
Well, look, maybe that's I mean,
I mean,
it wouldn't be
do
wouldn't be
I-
the first person we sent over to the hill country for supervision through them. Under my watch. You know, we got the
Yeah.
main person
Yeah.
who's over there. But he's in a facility, but they're saying the facility is not required, but she does need a stability somewhere. And if that person is available to help you, why don't you and Mr. West try to find out where that person is, how you can reach them and see if they're willing to let you live with them.
Well, I would prefer to continue to walk.
No,
It's my journey.
no. You have to have a place where we can find you at all time.
I don't have an apartment or a house. And you know, I have a house in London, Texas.
Mhm. That just came up, I
No,
mean, in your thought.
No.
What's the address?
oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I might
So
have-
why don't you work with the grandparent idea? That
Yeah.
sounds like a good one. And we're gonna come back in a couple of weeks, okay, and
We'll
pick
also
this
check
up.
information more in the meantime too.
Okay. That's what we'll do.
The National Alliance on Mental Illness also has some statistics on this topic. Nearly 1 in 4 people shot and killed by police between 2015 and 2020 had a mental health condition. Also, 66% of women in prison reported having a history of mental illness, which is almost twice as much as men. So that makes me wonder, are they reporting more, recognizing it more, or is it just more prevalent? The important statistic, though, is 3 in 5 people with a history of mental illness do not receive mental health treatment while incarcerated in state and federal prisons. And less than half of the people with a history of mental illness receive treatment while held in local jails. So people who have health coverage upon release from incarceration are more likely to engage in services that reduce recidivism. But how many people have health coverage when they're released from jail? Because you know you've lost your job and everything else. What? Unless somebody hooks you up with Medicaid, which most times single adults can't get Medicaid. I'm not even sure what the rules are for that. I mean, I don't know. About 50,000 veterans are held in local jails, and 55% report experience mental illnesses, and 70% of youths in the juvenile justice system have a diagnosable mental health condition. Which leads me to another report I found. I read a whole paper on the jail system and incarceration causing mental illness and causing mental health conditions, which is a whole nother issue we're not even going to talk about today because that's a rabbit hole we're not going to go down. But it's something recognizable, and it's something that we need to be more open about and we need to talk about. And when somebody has an issue, they need to say something. And when somebody's feeling down, there's a reason. And you need to look and see what's going on. And if it's something going on that you feel like it's more than I'm just having a bad day, then go to a doctor and tell him, because there are people who went to school and paid a lot of money to go to school to be a doctor, to treat these things. And they're learning how to treat these things, and they're able to treat these things. And these things are not hush, hush, keep it under the rug anymore. Mental health is a major issue, and it's treatable and it's fixable. Because if we don't start treating it, we're going to have a world full of crazy freaking people. I mean, we already do, but like way worse. Like the world is already going mad, but we got to start getting it under control. Yeah. Yeah. And people have to stop being so angry all the time and so mean and like saying mean things in comments, because like, really? Sorry. It's completely okay to have mental health problems. The world is stressful. Nobody thought we would live in a world like this. So all we have to do is admit we have a problem, which is the hardest part. But it's okay to do. Nothing's going to happen. The roof's not going to cave in. Hellfire is not going to rain down. It's just going to be like, oh, okay. And then you go to the doctor and you fix it. And then after a while, things get better and you're happy again. And life gets better. And then the world gets better. And people get better. And we stop all of this hate and violence and horrible, horrible things that are happening in the world today. Okay, I'm gonna put my soapbox away. Y'all have a great afternoon.